And this after he attacked merit in India, calling it unfair to the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and other backward castes. Rahul Gandhi has also promoted caste census, which many believe is meant to divide the Hindu community. He made these remarks during his podcast with economist Sukhadeo Thorat. During this entire course of the 15-minute program, Rahul Gandhi claimed that merit is flawed and unfair. He claimed that those opposed to caste census are actually anti-national. Now, the Bharatiya Janata Party was quick to react, underlining how his ideas are dangerous for India, accusing Rahul Gandhi of exposing his nepotistic and feudal mindset of the party. Now remember, Gandhi's statement is part of a broader debate on affirmative action versus meritocracy. While supporters argue that historical injustices necessitate corrective measures like reservations, critics contend that an excessive focus on caste-based quotas undermines merit and efficiency. But this would not be the first time Rahul Gandhi has put his weight behind caste census demand. There have been quite a few remarks thrown around in the past as well. And to name a few, let me in fact take you through an entire timeline. In August of 2024, Rahul Gandhi questioned why there is no Dalit or tribal women in the Miss India list. Earlier this year, Rahul Gandhi also questioned the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's Halwa ceremony, claiming that there is no OBC representation. And now he has claimed that those against the caste census are actually anti-national. Rahul Gandhi show has time and again reiterated the demand for a caste census, but his flip-flop is not hidden from anyone. Rahul Gandhi has now also claimed that those against caste census are in fact anti-nationals. It also is the same Rahul Gandhi who once said that he does not believe in the caste system at all, and this was way back in 2009. What has led to this flip-flop all of a sudden? Rahul's latest caste census pitch has of course triggered a big debate. The BJP is upping its ante. In a fierce attack, the Bharatiya Janata Party has said, and let me quote, Rahul's family-first mindset has been completely exposed, but that's not the only thing that they've alleged. They're saying that these remarks shed light on Congress's own nepotistic and feudal mindset. Congress has historically insulted meritorious leaders is what the BJP is claiming. They're saying that Congress's anti-Dalit mindset has been exposed yet again and that Congress is openly trying to crush the value of meritocracy. And so when it comes to Rahul's latest row as far as meritocracy is concerned and merit and upper caste narrative, is Rahul Gandhi's statement even being backed by facts? That's the question we'll be posing to our guests in just a bit.
ಸಿಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಪೆನ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ನನಗಿರೋ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಅಂತ 48 ಜನಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಬ್ರು ಇಬ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲ.
Home Minister Parameshwara said he has not received any information officially. This means the Congress government is trying to cover up the issue.
All right, on that note, let me introduce my guests today. I am joined in by Mr. Rajagopalan, and who's a senior journalist, Pooja Tripathi, who's a spokesperson for the Congress Party, Desh Ratan Nigam, who's a political analyst, also joined in by Sanjeev Srivastav, who's a senior journalist. Many thanks to you, Pooja, and the gentlemen for joining in. In fact, I want to ask Desh Ratan Nigam the first question. Desh Ratan Nigam, how do you assess when the Bharatiya Janata Party is now alleging that whatever Rahul Gandhi has had to say is only reflecting the Dalit Vidrohi mindset of the Congress Party? How do you weigh in on that, and what merits such a strong sweeping statement from the BJP?
Well, Akanksha, to begin on a lighter note, if merit was the focus, Rahul Gandhi would be the first casualty. And let me now come back to the topic. In Indian governance and administrative system, we have a very fine balance between merit and reservation. And merit is a worldwide phenomenon, even where there are no castes involved, whether it is US, Europe, Australia. Merit is the focus. Without merit, the society cannot exist or progress. However, because of the historical wrongs and injustices done in our society, we have a system of reservation constitutionally provided.
True.
And subsequently the OBCs were also provided reservation and 10% economically weaker section quota, because in the so-called upper caste also there were very poor people who could not make it to the system. So this very fine balance needs, Rahul Gandhi wants it to be disturbed, and that would lead to some kind of a chaos and disorder in the society and anarchy, which is why this time and again caste census to disturb the society, to have kind of a chaos in the society. And I'll ask one question from Rahul: why doesn't he agitate for SC/ST's reservation in Aligarh Muslim University or Jamia Millia, where there is no such reservation is given? Why doesn't he oppose the almost all Muslim Muslims have been included in OBC in Karnataka, West Bengal? Why, which is eating into OBC's reservation? Why doesn't he raise all those questions? No, he will not. He only wants to divide Hindus and to consolidate Muslims. That is the only agenda that I see.
Thank you, Deshratan Nigam, for setting the tone for this debate. I think you've raised a very valid question, and I'd like to raise that back with Pooja Tripathi. Pooja, how do you respond to that? That's a question that, you know, we've time again been raising, and Rahul Gandhi has not really addressed it adequately. It was raised even during the campaigning of Lok Sabha.
Akansha, Rahul Gandhi is the only leader that has been vociferous, has been vocal about the need for a caste-based census. Let's get their numbers. Unless and until you get their numbers, how will you amend, how will you form reformative policies? And when we talk about merit, I'll come to the topic of the debate. Merit is not an individualistic, standalone, decontextualized criterion. When you talk about merit, you conveniently forget the hereditary privileges that has been, that has been transferred to the upper caste, the social capital, the economic capital, the monopoly over cultural capital, the access to resources, the access to educational resources, while the underprivileged communities have to fight a bigger battle. They have to fight a battle at many fronts. Is the lack of resources, is the historical social stigma attached to them, is the hindrances in the upward mobility. Bharatiya Janata Party has been very championing, and I'll not go into the bureaucracy, educational. There are many examples which Rahul Gandhi has actually come out with in various press conferences and his discussion with media and various economists too. I'll take the example of Startup India. I've seen Bharatiya Janata Party spokespersons championing the cause of making a casteless society. When we talk about the Startup India, a study done by IHS and IIM Bangalore in 2021 on the 42,000 startups revealed some very glaring facts. There was 18% gap in Dalit-led business enterprises. There was 27.1% gap when it comes to access to the social capitals, the networks and business, the business contacts and everything. And there was only 6% access to the human capital. That's where Rahul Gandhi is asking for numbers. That's where Rahul Gandhi is saying, what is stopping you for, giving us a number, giving us a broad picture, giving us an X-ray of the society? Because caste we cannot turn a blind.
But then why was it the same Rahul Gandhi in 2009 saying that I do not believe in caste system and there should be a casteless society, something that his own grandmother endorsed way back till the Mandal? Then why did they also sit over the Mandal Commission report?
His great-grandfather, his grandmother, his father, everybody endorsed it.
Agreed. Then what explains that U-turn?
Yeah, I'll come to it. On November 19, 2024, on talking to the press at AICC, Rahul Gandhi said it was a mistake on our part. We thought that the actions, the policy, the targeted actions would trickle down to the marginalized communities, but it didn't happen. When we see the huge underrepresentation, higher education, bureaucracy, government institution, businesses, access to land, access to resources, we see that it has not trickled down, and that's why Rahul Gandhi accepted it.
Okay, point taken. I want to bring in Sanjeev Srivastava. How do you assess this? Many critics are in fact saying that is this not a little too late to raise this entire issue as far as caste census is concerned? Because what was the UPA regime doing when they were in power? They didn't really take up the entire issue of the caste census, so much so that the 2011 census that even happened, the findings of it are still unknown.
So I think Pooja just answered that question when she said that on whichever November 2024, Rahul Gandhi admitted to the mistakes of his previous governments. So I think what Rahul Gandhi is saying, that there is a basic inequality and inequity in the society, is right. But the manner in which he is going about demanding for caste census actually suggests that the only way he sees to combat the BJP's, for lack of a better word, Hindu-Muslim politics or religion-based politics, he thinks the only way he can counter that, and the Congress will get any chance, if it will, by raising the issue of caste. So the larger Hindu umbrella vote gets divided. Now, that's some theory which a lot of people talking about it. I am not saying something very original. See, what Rahul Gandhi needs to understand is that sometimes some issues work.
Okay.
The issue of संविधान खतरे में है and आरक्षण चला जाएगा दलितों का, पिछड़ों का, that worked in the 2024 election. But to expect that the same issue will keep yielding the same kind of dividend through and through. So you cannot become a one pony or one horse race. Just raising time and again the issue of caste-based census, even if it is right, slots him in a category where you are seen as anti-merit or anti-development or needlessly trying to divide to try and come to power. The issue he is raising is right. He has to select the right methodology of trying to make sure that the lower caste backwards get more uplifted. So even his raising this issue comes across more like politics than real concern. No, he may be really concerned. But I am saying what the perception game. Yeah. Okay.
When you talk about the perception game, I want to bring in Mr. Rajgopalan. Mr. Rajgopalan, do you not think that when you're talking about the perception game and why there are these accusations now coming in that Rahul Gandhi is resorting to divisive politics, is that right now Pooja highlighted that Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party have apologized for the mistakes done during the previous regime during 2004 to 2014. So much so that the SECC data has been botched and buried. But is the Congress party truly meaning what they're saying? Because I want to talk about the state level flip-flops. Where is the caste census data, the caste survey conducted in Karnataka?
Akansha, I want to raise this level of debate to a further level.
No, but before you do that, answer my question.
Congress is confused. Rahul Gandhi is confused. That is why it is happening. Rahul Gandhi is totally anti-Hindu and anti-majority community. Rahul Gandhi should study A.K. Anthony's report of 2014, which was appointed by the CWC of 2014. A.K. Anthony clearly said, don't antagonize majoritarian community, that is Hindu. But OBC, as Sanjeev just now said, he wants to cut this Hindutva blade with the OBC card, so that he cannot be doing every time, once he can take off. But as Prime Minister Narendra Modi says, I have also covered the Congress for more than 40 years. Sanjeev Srivastava knows that. And moreover, from 1980, Akansha, I would have covered some 20, 30 CWC meetings and many interesting AICC conventions, but never seen a undergraduate student like Rahul Gandhi, having been member of parliament for 20 years, he said to graduate himself, he is still in LKG. He cannot speak about this caste census because we are in the digitalization world. Trump has come and he is modifying the world, entire world. But Rahul Gandhi is saying different way. But Rahul Gandhi is still in George Soros mindset.
Okay. Pooja Tripathi, how do you respond to that? That Rahul Gandhi is still choosing to in fact remain as backward as the classes that he's talking about, who seem to still be, availing a lot through the schemes that have been launched at by the centre?
I think, Akansha, we have travelled far and wide from name calling of Rahul Gandhi. It was fashionable in last decade to just sit on TV panels and abuse Rahul Gandhi left, right and centre. I think even the public has voted for him, even the media has gone soft on him, and he has out and proved himself. So I don't need to give on this stupid, baseless, childish accusations that Rahul is anything. George Soros is their ultimate umbrella of avoiding any accountability. Anything George Soros, anything George Soros. They'll not answer questions on accountability. They'll not answer questions on national security. They'll just bring in George Soros, and I think that's very childish and very immaturish of an panelist to comment on that.
Yes, I want you to also touch upon the state level flip-flops. When you were in power in Rajasthan, when you were in power in Madhya Pradesh, you didn't think about this caste census. Let's talk about Karnataka. Everybody knows, it's an open secret that you are afraid of the backlash coming in from the Vocaligas and the Lingayats, which is why you are not disclosing the figures.
No, it's not we are afraid of the backlash, because
then actually share the figures.
Whenever the caste census, even if a statewide caste census is come out, it will come out with some explosive truths. We saw it in Bihar, and we will definitely
then
say
people deserve to know it.
In January, Siddaramaiah, the CM Chief Minister of Karnataka, has said that the caste census report will be tabled in the next session of Karnataka Legislative Assembly, and I'm very sure Telangana is under the process of caste census, and we are very hell-bent on it.
What about Karnataka?
About the political returns.
When do we see the figures coming out from Karnataka?
So next legislative session on 17 January, Siddaramaiah said it in the sessions of Parliament. And Congress party is not such, you say something on the floor of Parliament and you'll just take a 360-degree back turn to it. Congress party is not like that, and we will see the caste census report in the next session of Parliament. It's no more about political returns. It's more about getting ahead than this Samvidhan Khatre mein hai attitude. Rahul Gandhi's mission is caste census, and he's been very vocal. And it's not just about talking to an economist Thorat. He goes on to meet the Chamar factory in Bombay, and he goes on to meet the skills and artisans, how upward mobility, how access to resources helps them to bring up a community forward. This is Rahul Gandhi, and it's not just about having a political gain or not, or this is not just having sheen. It's more than that. It's about giving them their due representation. Okay. It's about jiske jitni hissedari, uski kitni bhagidari.
Okay, I want to bring in Desh Ratan Nigam. Desh Ratan Nigam, I want to ask you, how do we define this hissedari versus bhagidari? Because, I remember in 2017 itself, at the Kanpur Nagar Nigam, the majority of applications that had arrived for the post of a sweeper were by Brahmins. I'm posing a very bold question, which may perhaps not go down well with some who are tom-tomming the cause, because you also have these welfare initiative schemes that are looking after the masses who need that welfare, and that includes the SC/ST, that includes the OBCs, that includes all of those who are beneath a certain economic strata in the society. LPG schemes, you have the housing schemes, you have the ration schemes. I mean, are we also becoming a country which just wants to live off quotas and freebies?
Akanksha, myself being from Kanpur, I'm aware of that particular situation that you mentioned. I'm also aware of the fact that large number of security guards who get very paltry, salaries are Brahmins in and around my area. So to say that there is a discrimination, inequality only in the upper caste, in the lower caste, I do not agree. First, secondly, to say that merit is an upper caste narrative is kind of an insult to the merit which is available in the lower caste, the other caste. And I know my friends who are IAS who came from the SC/ST community, merit-based also, otherwise enjoyed the reservation. And to make such kind of sweeping statement is not done for leader of opposition. It is certainly uncalled for and should not be. It is very irresponsible coming from a leader of opposition, sitting member of the parliament, making such kind of comments. Remember when he said there is no OBC representation at the higher echelons of the IAS, forgetting that the Mandal Commission's implementation started from 1993 and they will become now the secretaries and the additional secretaries in the government. So when you have inadequate data and facts before you, and then you draw conclusions based on that, then the conclusions and deductions would be certainly very wrong. They will not lead to right kind of conclusions. To to make such kind of sweeping statements when India, in a very challenging world, is rising very fast. And whether it is infrastructure, take any parameters, or in the international standing, which country today can boast of,
Okay.
shaking hands with,
I'm running short of time. I want to, in fact, ask Pooja.
Ukraine and Russia also.
Right. That whole aspect of, half-baked information being presented when Rahul Gandhi says that just having electoral representation is not going to be enough. You need representation in bureaucracy. And Pooja, you just heard the point that Desh Ratan Nigam was making.
So I just pointed out something as new as Startup India, which I've been saying that Bharatiya Janata Party has been championing it to be a casteless society. So I just put it across the table. When Rahul Gandhi says there's a lack of representation and bureaucracy, is the government's figure. He is not making it up the fact. It's not an half-baked information. We look at higher education factors, and when you say we are taking affirmations, will we just live off quota or freebies? I think it's an insult to a greater part of the country that's looking at the government, and the example that you quoted of Kanpur speaks highly of government's failed policies and unemployment rather than
Sanjeev, I want to bring you in quickly on that note about is the government going to be blamed for everything now, whether it is in Uttar Pradesh or Karnataka? On one hand you have them making promises of freebies, and on the other hand then they say that there's not enough money, let's increase the taxes and surcharges.
Well, now this is a completely separate issue about freebie culture and how it is really harming our economy and putting our future at stake as an economy. And so this freebie culture is very bad, and it's a competitive culture, and the BJP has gone down the same road as a lot of other parties after opposing it tooth and nail initially, at least in public domain. Now they have followed the same path. In a country where you get 80-90 crore people are being given free rations, that itself shows the state of our economy and state of joblessness, unemployment.
30 seconds.
All those things are separate issue. But on this merit issue, I really think that Rahul Gandhi, he may be meaning well, but he has to get his narrative right in a young aspirational India where you're trying to find your rightful place in the world, talking about that we are not a merit-based society and trying to really cause some kind of anarchy. It's very unfortunate.
I want to bring Mr. Rajgopalan. I want to give you closing thoughts. Weigh in on what Justice Gavai had to say in January of this year when he said that exclusion of the affluent or the creamy layer quota benefits will only alone achieve real equality. And I'm going to bring you in on the cream.
Not even 30 seconds, I'll say in 10 seconds. Mr. Rahul Gandhi has become younger brother of VP Singh. He should understand the Indian politics. Do not divide the Indian community or Indian states.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining in on that very insightful discussion. Truly appreciate your presence here on Plain Speak. And with that, let me now shift focus over to the other debate we'll be bringing to you after a quick break. Down south, the Siddaramaiah government has been caught in the middle of a honey trap controversy. We'll get you the big debate on the other side. Stay tuned to Plain Speak.
ऑनरेबल जस्टिस यशवंत वर्मा जी के ऊपर ये लगा है चार्ज। उनके घर से मिला है कैश और काफ़ी बड़ी मात्रा में मिला है। ये ऐसा पता चला है जो मीडिया की खबरों से हमें पता चला है। हमें अपनी व्यक्तिगत जानकारी नहीं है, लेकिन मीडिया की खबरों से यही हमें जानकारी है। बार इसमें उनको किसी कीमत यहाँ एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेगा, ये बार का अपना फैसला है और यही इसी पे हम लोग निर्णय ले रहे हैं। 24 तारीख को 1 बजे जनरल हाउस बुला करके और उसमें बाकी साथी हमारी कार्यकारिणी ने तो ये डिसाइड कर लिया है, लेकिन हम पूरे अपने जनरल हाउस बुला करके बाकी अधिवक्ता साथियों के साथ जो इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट के बाकी अधिवक्ता साथी हैं उनसे हम लोग बातचीत करेंगे और हम लोग एक निर्णय लेंगे और इस पर हम लोग एक बड़े आंदोलन के लिए तैयार होने जा रहे हैं।
So more and more questions now emerging from top lawyers across the country, including Harish Salve. He's also spoken out against the in-house investigation that has been ordered by the Supreme Court, as well as the transfer of Justice Yashwant Verma from the Delhi High Court to the Allahabad High Court. He was speaking to CNN News 18's Rahul Shivshankar. This is what he had to say.
On a day full of implications, really, for judicial transparency, Mr. Salve, your assessment of the response of the Supreme Court collegium in the first instance?
My response is, I'm afraid to say, very negative. And it's for a reason. The allegations, and I'm only call them allegations, I have no information beyond what I've read in the newspaper. So I caveat it. But if the allegations are true, and the fact that the Supreme Court has considered it necessary to act, then what should have been the response? And the response has established things which critics of the collegium system like me have always said, that this system doesn't work. Today, this is not a case where there are some internal complaints against the working of a judge, and in order to ensure that judicial independence and integrity is not compromised, you do an in-house inquiry. Today, this complaint is that, as per the newspapers, the fire brigade and the police went into the judge's home to rescue it from a fire and found large sums of cash. Now, if this is true, it's something which has happened in public. And I have 2 or 3 reasons for which I feel this collegium decision is deeply flawed. If this had been found, Rahul, in your house, if such a large money would have been found in your house, by now the ED would have been at your doorstep. If this money had been found at the house of the Home Secretary, Finance Secretary, Transport Secretary, would they have been transferred to another department? They would have been suspended and a disciplinary inquiry commenced. Perish the thought, if this had been found in the home of a cabinet minister or a state minister, what would have happened? People would have been paying for their blood. You would have been asking right now, why has he not been arrested? And if the government had said, we will do an in-house inquiry into the cabinet minister, the Supreme Court would have interfered on a PIL, constituted an SIT and a supervised and investigation. Are those same standards to be applied to one of your own? I would say higher standards need to be applied to one of your own. So it's wrong at that level. It's wrong at a second level because this is not, I believe, an in-house inquiry has now been ordered.
Yeah.
This is not fit for an in-house inquiry. Third, why are you transferring this judge? If he is fit to discharge judicial functions, let him be in Delhi. And if he is unfit to discharge judicial functions pending this cloud, till the cloud is either removed or confirmed, is he fit for Allahabad High Court but not for Delhi High Court? What is Allahabad High Court? A dumping ground? So, and this notion that we are sending him to his parent High Court, he didn't come on a promotion to Delhi. Allahabad High Court is a co-equal institution and he was a judge of a co-equal institution. It is moving a judge from one court to the other. We are always told this is not a punishment. It's just a convenient arrangement of dispensing justice. So if he can't dispense justice in Delhi, how does it solve the problem?
Welcome back. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Akanksha Swaroop. What started as mere whispers has spiraled into a full-blown controversy after Congress Minister K.N. Rajanna claimed that 48 political leaders, even including central figures, have fallen victim to honey trapping on the floor of the House. What followed was protest, ruckus and a demand for a CBI investigation into the allegations. The BJP has claimed that the Siddaramaiah government is trying to brush the whole controversy under the carpet. The political war of words is, of course, escalating further. But here's what Karnataka's Minister K.N. Rajanna has alleged, and let me break it down for you. Minister Rajanna alleges that a minister from Tumakuru has been caught in the middle of a honey trap scandal. He says that people's representatives are being blackmailed, and that also includes 48 politicians, several being union ministers, have fallen prey to this political trapping. Now, the claims have triggered a massive political face-off between the opposition BJP, JDS on one hand, and on the other hand is the Congress. The BJP has asked the Congress government to look into the matter, and while the Congress has assured to thoroughly investigate the cases, the Bharatiya Janata Party claims that the Congress is trying to brush the matter under the carpet. The BJP has demanded for a high-level investigation team to be formed. The Congress has assured the dignity of members will not be compromised by making this or turning it into a judicial probe. The BJP has claimed that such incidents have never been discussed on the floor of the House. The Congress claims that they will get to the bottom of it and that the guilty will not be spared. So when it comes to this honey trap scandal in Karnataka, as far as Congress netas who have been trapped by their own blackmail politics, is this now blackmail politics prevailing in Karnataka? We'll be posing that question to our guests.
ಸಿಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಪೆನ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ನನಗಿರೋ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಅಂತ 48 ಜನಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಬ್ರು ಇಬ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲ.
Home Minister Parameshwara said he has not received any information officially. This means the Congress government is trying to cover up the issue.
He found a judicial inquiry where a sitting judge of the High Court should do the inquiry, not some police officer who salutes to all these ministers every day should be doing the inquiry.
He said he's going to give a written complaint. Probably once he gives a written complaint, then the entire process will start.
Introducing my guests today, senior journalist R. Rajgopalan continues to stay with us, and Syed Asad Abbas, who's a political analyst, joins me too. Many thanks to you gentlemen for joining in. Asad, I want to ask you, if the minister himself is saying that there are 48 politicians who are being honey-trapped, that includes central legislators across party lines, then why not call for a judicial probe, or as is being demanded by the opposition, hand it over to the CBI?
Certainly, there are no two ways about it. There must be an investigation. Also, coming to these elected representatives, I think with great power, there's great responsibility and equal accountability. Dr. G. Parameshwar, who is the Home Minister of my state of Karnataka, has also assured full investigation on the same front. As a matter of fact, the opposition always ask for a CBI inquiry. I think they need to understand that the Karnataka State Police is one of the finest that we have in our country today, and they should hold faith in the state police. I'm sure in due course of time, those who are masterminds behind such criminal activities will be brought to the books. But let us also understand the history of Karnataka politics. Satish Jarkiholi, a Congress minister, has also stated that in the last 20 years, we've seen cases like this happening here in Karnataka, be it the Prajwal Revanna case of the JDS, be it even in the case during Basavaraj Bommai's times, being also happening with Mr. Ramesh Jarkiholi and so on and so forth. I think there must be a full-fledged investigation. This issue is a very serious issue. It must be dealt with iron hands. And I think both, since all the three respective parties have been victimized of the same front, there should be no stone unturned, and they should go ahead with this investigation.
Mr. Rajgopal, how do you assess the point that not just Asad is making, but today Priyank Khadge also made the very same point that, similar kind of honey trapping cases have been witnessed under the previous government, whether it is in fact the Prajwal Revanna scandal or even other examples are there under the Bommai government as well, and none of them arrived at the well of the House. Then why demand a judicial probe now?
This type of honey trapping is not new to Karnataka politics, Akansha. I have been, as Abbas knows me very well, for the last...
I'm so sorry, sir. I'm going to ask you to continue staying with me. Let's also listen in to what DK Shivkumar has to say, Deputy CM, in fact, of Karnataka, reacting over there. Remember, there are allegations coming in from the BJP where they are accusing him of orchestrating this honey trap scandal. Let's also listen to what he has to say.
From the last 36 years, I'm in this assembly. At no point of time, this type of behavior has not happened.
demanding for CBI inquiry, these kind of...
What is there? I think if anything is there, it may be theirs.
Sir, BJP is saying it is for the safety of all the MLAs, not particularly for BJP or some other people.
What issue you are telling?
Honey trap, yes, demanding
See,
allegations.
see, already Chief Minister and Mr. Home Minister said, let someone file a complaint. We know that in Vidhan Sabha what has happened. Woman has said that she has been raped in Vidhan Sabha. There are complaints pending before the various courts. There is a big history. It is a shame on this one. Why did they take stay? All the Bombay boys? Why did they take stay? So it is very shame.
The kind of allegations... Bombay boys ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸಿಎಂ ಕುರ್ಚಿಗಾಗಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಆರೋಪಗಳು. This is not an allegation.
ಯಾರು ಅವ್ರದೇ ಸ್ವಂತ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಗೋಲ್ ಇರಬೇಕಿದು. ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಎ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಗೋಲ್.
Back to Syed Asad Abbas and Mr. Rajgopalan. Mr. Rajgopalan, allegations were in fact hurled by BJP MLA Muniratna, who had gone on to say that it is not just DK Shivkumar but his brother as well who are orchestrating this entire honey trap scandal. How do you weigh in? And today itself we are seeing he is very skillfully dodged that question.
Very skillfully. Mr. Shivkumar is a very senior politician. He knows how to handle it. But apart from that, Akansha, the Congress party is in the thick of Rania Rao's smuggling of gold controversy. They want to divert that. That is why the minister has been fielded by one of the warring leaders of Congress. That is also to end this Congress warring factions, and the Karnataka government, instead of doing public services, developmental activities, unnecessarily, Siddaramaiah, DK Shivkumar, Mallikarjun Kharge groupism is spoiling this type of thing. And second thing, the honey trap issue, as I was telling you, is not new to Karnataka politics. For 25-30 years, I have been watching Karnataka politics. Even in the assembly, they were viewing videos, madam. These prawn videos. It's not new. So therefore, Congress is in an answerable position. Congress should set its house in order. What is Rahul Gandhi's stand on this? We must explain.
But Asad, I want to bring you in, because if this is nothing new to Karnataka politics, and intelligence is one department that falls under the purview of the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, then is this also not a failure, an intel failure, a failure overall in terms of law and order itself? When people's representatives are not safe, who will protect the state?
I think DK Shivkumarji has stated that there needs to be a written complaint, a formal complaint which needs to come through, be it an MLA, MLC or any of the respective parties. Only then the Home Minister or even the police can take action. Also, as a matter of fact, Rajgopalanji is absolutely right. This has been happening over the last 25-30 years here in Karnataka, and absolutely unfortunate. Even when Basavaraj Bommai was the Chief Minister, even when H.D. Kumaraswamy was the Chief Minister, we did see this, and it's very highly unfortunate and shameful that there were certain MLAs who were caught watching porn video clips in
all the more
assembly,
reason for a judicial probe, perhaps. Do you not think? Asad?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
If this has become, such a norm in the state of Karnataka, where all of this is now being normalized and is not being cracked down upon, then perhaps it does call for a judicial monitoring or maybe a CBI to handle this entire case.
The Karnataka police several times over the last several years has been able to debunk many such cases. I think this time there needs to be a special investigation team. The Karnataka police led with the Criminal Investigation Department, the CID, of course, under the aegis of the Karnataka High Court Judicial Inquiry must come through. Like I said earlier, it must be dealt with iron hands, because when it comes to the matter of our member of Legislative Assembly, it must be done. But I was in a debate with a former police officer, Mr. Sanjay Sahai, who made a very pertinent point. He said that even the respective politicians need to be careful. They should not be trappable. Even if there is a honey trap, they need to be responsible, they need to be accountable, so that they, as public elected representatives, individuals, should not fall prey to this. So therefore, I think the onus and responsibility also lies on the respective politicians that they hold themselves and they do not become victims to such an activity.
Mr. Rajgopalan, many actually the skeptics are very critical, and they are actually questioning the timing of this entire allegation coming to the forefront, that too at in the well of the House, because they are saying that it's also to do with DK Shivkumar and his own personal ambitions.
Of course, as I told you, two things, Akansha. One is Rania Rao's gold smuggling. Second is internal war in Congress. Mr. DK Shivkumar is instigating BJP to do this type of drama. And he comes out saying that, he never seen in 36 years of his public life. My understanding is it is a Congress faction between Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah. Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi must answer it and resolve this problem. Otherwise, there is no administration in Karnataka. Only for the last 2 months, no developmental activities, no governance. So only these dramas, and also in the headlines that in all Karnataka newspapers are full with sex scandals.
Syed Asad Abbas, I see you want to make a point, but keep in mind the timing and the internal tussle now also being blamed for it.
Rajgopalanji has raised a very important question. He's raised the Rania Rao issue. As a matter of fact, with Rania Rao's issue, the ED has clearly stated that over the last 5-6 years, this has been happening. As a matter of fact, it happened then during BJP government too. 2 years back previously, we had the BJP government. So therefore, I think we should congratulate the Karnataka force that they're able to catch her. So therefore, I think it's not right to set the blame there. Also, as a matter of fact, 18
but
BJP
why,
MLAs suspended.
why credit the Karnataka government? It's a central agency like the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. It's a DRI victory, not a Karnataka government victory. I'm sorry, I'll have to correct you there.
But this happened during the Karnataka rule of the Congress party, not during Basuraj Bommai.
Well, then there has, by that logic, there's been another gold bust in Ahmedabad. So let's congratulate the BJP government there.
Then how will you blame the Congress party for?
No, it's not about. Again, we are digressing, Asad. Let's not digress. I'm asking
I'm not able to hear
how do you weigh in on this allegation that this is also a result of an internal tussle between DK Shivkumar
I will answer
and of course Siddaramaiah? Many are questioning the timing.
I will answer that. I will definitely.
And it is the BJP MLA Muniratna himself who's gone on. And I'll tell you what's adding fuel to the fire is DK Shivkumar's own reaction that just came in. The reporters posed that very question 2 minutes ago. It was live over here on our televisions, and he's dodged that question.
I will answer that. That's a fair question, with Rajgopalanji has raised with respect to internal tussle. What DK Shivkumarji here, he's saying that 36 years of his life, he has never been party to any such thing, that he's never done something like this. He's a statesman when it comes to Karnataka politics. Of course, there could be personal ambitions there, but using this medium, he's defending himself. Also, as a matter of fact, when allegations come into DK Shivkumar, I would say there needs to be evidence. There needs to be a concrete, substantial evidence, without which it will remain only allegations. Also, 18 BJP MLAs are rightfully suspended because they're throwing the papers. We can see the videos, throwing the papers, disrespecting the speaker, disrespecting the assembly, violating the rights. It's absolutely unfair. We also know that 146 opposition MPs were also suspended previously. So therefore, I think Karnataka speaker is rightfully within his rights to suspend them for their misbehavior in their assembly. Protest is your right. You can definitely go ahead and protest, but throwing papers on the face of the speaker is absolutely unfortunate. And I think it gets the decorum and dignity of the assembly to a new low, which is very unfortunate.
I want to bring in Rajgopalan. Mr. Rajgopalan, where is the morality? Today, I think that is the moot question as well. The scenes that are coming out from the well of the House, you see those warring opposition MLAs on one hand being marshalled out. On the other hand, you have these honey trap allegations also coming to the forefront. There's I think, a very critical question of where is the morality left?
There is no morality at all. Having covered Congress and BJP political system for last 40 years, Akansha, I am very much aggrieved, saying that, it has gone to a very dirt. Second thing, today's, incident in Karnataka Assembly, the epicenter is Mr. Siddaramaiah. No one is able to understand that. Why Rahul Gandhi is keeping quiet on removal of Siddaramaiah? He should either remove him or install Mr. DK Shivkumar. Let the governance happen in Karnataka. all the IAS officers, IPS officers, hands are tied, whether in Shivakumar group or in Siddaramaiah group. If the official Babudam is also completely divided. Therefore, my understanding is honey trap is not an issue in Karnataka politics. The change of Mr. Siddaramaiah is the issue, a real issue.
Asad, many say that, whatever is happening in the Congress party is also a result of a trickle-down effect. Is this the silence of the Congress High Command and of the power center that Rahul Gandhi is, that is now taking a toll on parties, on the party's own sort of administration, whether it is not just Karnataka, even Telangana?
I honestly think this is state politics within the region of my state of Karnataka. I think it's unfair to pin the blame on Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka
But I
Gandhi.
think Rajgopalan has made a very, very valid point when he's saying that in Karnataka, the situation, in fact, does call for intervention from the High Command.
But the fact of the matter is that, with respect to Siddaramaiah ji, the Chief Minister, with respect to DK Shivkumar ji, they've made statement previously that as per what the High Command's wish is, they will continue. Be it Siddaramaiah ji doing the full 5-year term, or it will be a split of 2.5 years each. That will be left to the High Command. But what I see coming through, a stable government of 135 MLAs of the Congress party, Rajgopalan ji, myself are aware that several years we have suffered in coalition government, be it BJP, JDS or Congress JDS. That does not work in Karnataka. That is why the mandate of the Karnataka gave its full mandate to one party, which is the Indian National Congress Party. And therefore, I think for the betterment of the state, its development, its economy, one party remains at the center for the full, the state for the full 5 years, so that there is good work taking place. We as Kannadigas, we as people of Karnataka want the best for the state. And I'm sure even Rajgopalanji will agree to us. Also, as a matter of fact, when it comes to the fact of morality, you are absolutely right, Akankshaji. The fact of the matter, these are all elected individuals, be it Congress, BJP, JDS. They need to know how to behave in the assembly. Protest is well within your right, but disrupting the assembly this way, taking the respect out of the speaker, throwing the bills at the speaker, the paper, that is absolutely not done. What will we, people who have elected you, voted for you from our constituencies, what do we have to even expect something out of you? I think where is the responsibility here? Where is the accountability?
Okay,
Yes,
closing thoughts, Mr. Rajgopalan. How is the cabinet going to operate is also another question that is now being raised. That if the people's representatives are not being given due protection, or if they are being so-called honey trapped, and this has now become a norm in the state of Karnataka, then how is the cabinet operating? How is the chief minister allowing this to happen right under his nose when the intelligence is under his purview?
Siddaramaiah has become a lame duck Prime Chief Minister. Mallikarjun Kharge has become a lame duck President of Congress. It is high time Sonia Gandhi intervened in this. Otherwise, Karnataka will not go for a developmental things. Unnecessarily, you are getting into the trap of the opposition, not only honey trap, political trap also. In general, Akansha, politicians do not have any morality.
And when they do...
Just one last point, please, 10 seconds.
Okay, Asa.
Just with respect to Karnataka, its development, I'd like to bring to the notice, the Karnataka state GDP has grown by 7.4%, agriculture has grown by 4%, and the state GDP has outpaced the national growth.
Gold smuggling is also going up. Gold smuggling is also going up, Abbas.
We should definitely
is on 140 kilos.
We should definitely deal that with iron hands, sir. I think of this matter, the opposition and the ruling dispensation need to come together and fight gold smuggling issue. I completely agree with you, sir. But let us also understand that the Karnataka, has outpaced the national growth of state GDP is grown by 6.2%. So therefore, Karnataka is one of the finest states that we have in the country today.
Revenue deficit still stays. And can these legislators, can the MLAs, can the ministers afford their pay hikes is what we are going to come to, and which is why, Mr. Rajgopalan, how do you assess? Many are saying that these kind of diversionary tactics, as you also highlighted, or appeasement measures, which many have labelled this bill that has been passed today, are these also now being sort of resorted to cover up their own state failures?
In 2 or 3 days, this issue will be forgotten, madam, because DK Shivkumar himself just now said 2 minutes ago, one lady MLA's complaint in the High Court is still pending for the last 10 years. Nothing happened. You talked about judicial intervention. Since the MLA has gone to the court, no court is ready to give judgment on this. It is a honey trap. Openly they are saying. Therefore, it is morality. ethics, etc.
Okay.
And politicians do not have it.
Okay, let's hope that they are able to buy some morality from the market. I'll have to leave it on that jovial note. Many thanks to you, gentlemen, for joining in. I'm in fact getting in some breaking inputs. This is a CNN News 18 exclusive news break. We have accessed a video of Hasnat Abdullah, who's the chief organizer of the National Citizen Party. He's made a big, massive claim saying Bangladesh Army Chief General Waqar Uzzama has in fact expressed reservations about appointing Mohammad Yunus as the chief advisor. The top Indian intelligence sources in fact have informed us that there's an internal hesitation within the military establishment about Yunus, and it's likely that ISI will ensure delay in these elections in Bangladesh to keep the Yunus government in office in an attempt to create new avenues for trouble and infiltration in India. Remember, this is in fact exclusive inputs being shared by our security affairs editor Mr. Manoj Gupta, but let's also play out this video that we have for you. Let's listen in to what is being said at the moment.
দিক থেকে মূল ভেটোটা ছিল যে ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ ইউনুস কেন, why not any other person? ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ ইউনুসের নামে মামলা আছে, তিনি একজন কনভিক্টেড পারসন। একজন কনভিক্টেড পারসন আসলে কিভাবে একটা দেশের প্রধান উপদেষ্টা হতে পারে? আওয়ামী লীগ একটা লোককে একেবারেই দেখতে পাচ্ছে না, এবং বাংলাদেশে তো আলটিমেটলি 30-40% পিপল আওয়ামী লীগকে সাপোর্ট করে। এই 30-40% পিপলের মতামতের বিরুদ্ধে গিয়ে একটা লোককে প্রধান উপদেষ্টা করা উচিত? সেনাপ্রধান লাস্ট আমাদেরকে বলেছিল যে আমি বুকে পাথর চাপা দিয়ে এই সিদ্ধান্তটা মেনে নিই। সেনাপ্রধানের দিক থেকে মূল ভেটোটা ছিল যে ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ ইউনুস কেন, why not any other person? ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ ইউনুসের নামে মামলা আছে, তিনি একজন কনভিক্টেড পারসন। একজন কনভিক্টেড পারসন আসলে কিভাবে?
All right, let's quickly go across to our correspondent Siddhant Mishra, who's joining me with more inputs on that news story. Siddhant, take us through, the fact that there's been a rift within the army as far as having Mohammad Yunus as the interim advisor is concerned. That in itself is something we've known. But what is it that Hasnat Abdullah has shared so far that also corroborates the information that the ISI will ensure there's a delay in terms of the elections in Bangladesh?
Well, that's right. Look, Akanksha, Bangladesh is imploding. Okay, so these factions, these groups, which so-called, got united after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, the students group, army, and the civil rights activists, etc. They came together, to choose Yunus as the leader, and after which Yunus was selected as a leader. But there were always differences, and differences are now quite visible in public, and perhaps that is exactly what Manoj Gupta is reporting, that how now the army chief, the army ecosystem is not liking Mohammad Yunus because they find him ineffective, and they are also not liking his intentions as far as calling elections are concerned, because since the very beginning he is kept on delaying the announcement of elections. The political fronts, political parties, army, they all are putting pressure on Mohammad Yunus to declare election, but he's not doing that. Then also the increase in closeness with ISI, Pakistan, is perhaps a major concern for many stakeholders in Bangladesh. So day by day, Bangladesh is imploding. Bangladesh is perhaps is collapsing, and there is a huge mistrust that is increasing as far as Mohammad Yunus's leadership is concerned in Bangladesh.
Absolutely.
So that is exactly what Manoj Gupta is reporting right now. And in fact, now the statements have started coming in public regarding the rift.
In fact, I'm afraid I'll have to leave it at that. Siddhant, many thanks to you for the information coming in. Also being reported that ISI will ensure that Jamaat students keep India on the boil as well. And with that, it's a quick wrap from my end. Thank you so much for watching Plain Speak. Up next is The Right Stand with Anand Narasimhan.
Brought to you by
ऑनरेबल जस्टिस यशवंत वर्मा जी के ऊपर ये लगा है चार्ज। उनके घर से मिला है कैश, और काफ़ी बड़ी मात्रा में मिला है। ये ऐसा पता चला है, जो मीडिया की खबरों से हमें पता चला है। हमें अपनी व्यक्तिगत जानकारी नहीं है, लेकिन मीडिया की खबरों से यही हमें जानकारी है। बार इसमें उनको किसी कीमत यहाँ एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेगा, ये बार का अपना फैसला है, और यही इसी पे हम लोग निर्णय ले रहे हैं। 24 तारीख को 1 बजे जनरल हाउस बुला करके, और उसमें बाकी साथी हमारी कार्यकारिणी ने तो ये डिसाइड कर लिया है, लेकिन हम पूरे अपने जनरल हाउस बुला करके बाकी अधिवक्ता साथियों के साथ, जो इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट के बाकी अधिवक्ता साथी हैं, उनसे हम लोग बातचीत करेंगे, और हम लोग एक निर्णय लेंगे और इस पर हम लोग एक बड़े आंदोलन के लिए तैयार होने जा रहे हैं.
So more and more questions now emerging from top lawyers across the country, including Harish Salve. He's also spoken out against the in-house investigation that has been ordered by the Supreme Court, as well as the transfer of Justice Yashwant Verma from the Delhi High Court to the Allahabad High Court. He was speaking to CNN News 18's Rahul Shankar. This is what he had to say.
On a day full of implications, really, for judicial transparency, Mr. Salve, your assessment of the response of the Supreme Court collegium in the first instance?
My response is, I'm afraid to say, very negative. And it's for a reason. The allegations, and I only call them allegations, I have no information beyond what I have read in the newspaper. So I caveat it. But if the allegations are true, and the fact that the Supreme Court has considered it necessary to act, then what should have been the response? And the response has established things which critics of the collegium system like me have always said, that this system doesn't work. Today, this is not a case where there are some internal complaints against the working of a judge, and in order to ensure that judicial independence and integrity is not compromised, you do an in-house inquiry. Today, this complaint is that, as per the newspapers, the fire brigade and the police went into the judge's home to rescue it from a fire and found large sums of cash. Now, if this is true, it's something which has happened in public. And I have 2 or 3 reasons for which I feel this collegium decision is deeply flawed. If this had been found, Rahul, in your house, if such a large money would have been found in your house, by now the ED would have been at your doorstep. If this money had been found at the house of the Home Secretary, Finance Secretary, Transport Secretary, would they have been transferred to another department? They would have been suspended and a disciplinary inquiry commenced. Perish the thought, if this had been found in the home of a cabinet minister or a state minister, what would have happened? People would have been paying for their blood. You would have been asking right now, why has he not been arrested? And if the government had said, we will do an in-house inquiry into the cabinet minister, the Supreme Court would have interfered on a PIL, constituted an SIT and a supervised an investigation. Are those same standards to be applied to one of your own? I would say higher standards need to be applied to one of your own. So it's wrong at that level. It's wrong at a second level because this is not, I believe, an in-house inquiry has now been ordered.
Yeah.
This is not fit for an in-house inquiry. Third, why are you transferring this judge? If he is fit to discharge judicial functions, let him be in Delhi. And if he is unfit to discharge judicial functions pending this cloud, till the cloud is either removed or confirmed, is he fit for Allahabad High Court but not for Delhi High Court? What is Allahabad High Court? A dumping ground? So, anyway.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I am Anand Narsimhan. Congress MP and leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, questioned the merit system in Bharat, highlighting the struggles of dalits and tribals for equal access to governance and education, further calling the merit system unfair and completely flawed. The leader of the opposition slammed those opposing the caste census and accused them of wanting to hide the truth. The BJP quick to hit back at the Congress leader. Rahul Gandhi said, and I quote, "There is a completely flawed concept of merit where I confuse my social position with my capability. For anybody to say that our education system or our bureaucratic entry systems are fair to dalits, OBCs and tribals That's just a complete fallacy. The entire narrative is an upper caste narrative. This notion of merit is actually itself an unfair idea. Rahul Gandhi further adding that during his interaction with Professor Sukhadeo Thorat,
there is this idea that is being pushed by the RSS and the BJP, right? Which is basically to destroy their history, to destroy the history of the Dalits and the Adivasis and the OBCs. I think it's not supporting the caste census is actually anti-national. Because what you're saying is that we're not ready to accept the truth of what is going on in our country.
पब्लिक ने इनको पूरी तरह से डीमेरिट कर दिया है. अब ये मेरिट पे तो आते नहीं है, तो इसलिए पूरे देश की मेरिट को ये ओवररेटेड कहेंगे. मेरिट का जो है वो कोई मूल्य नहीं बताएंगे. मुझे लगता है कि जो कास्ट बेस्ड जनगणना है वो अपनी जगह पर है, लेकिन आप जो है वो जो हमारी जो और भी जो हमारे बहुत ही काबिल जो पूरे लोग हैं उनकी आप मेरिट को आप कह देंगे कि बेकार है, फर्जी है, तो ये तो बेवकूफ़ी से ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है.
Now, responding to Rahul Gandhi's statement, BJP IT cell head Amit Malviya took to X and wrote, "Does Rahul Gandhi even know what he speaks? The dolt just ran down millions of people who come from poor and socially marginalized backgrounds and rise up in life just by the dint of their merit and sheer hard work," unquote. Amit Malviya questioned further, quote, "But how can one expect an entitled dynast to even understand what it means to compete and excel?" Unquote. BJP national spokesperson C.R. Kesavan also slammed the Congress party and said that Rahul Gandhi's shocking outburst on merit clearly exposes the nepotistic and feudal mindset of his party. Does Rahul Gandhi's quote-unquote actually hold merit? That's the question that we asked tonight on the debate. Let's go across to our guests one by one.